Jono Rudman on Mix 93.8.
There we go, Mike.
Yeah, how are you?
Well, yourself, Mike. Mike Malinin. There we go. Initially or originally from the Googoodolls and now with Tanya Tucker. How are you doing?
Oh, not bad. Just sitting here in New York in the rain.
In the rain. We've been having the same rain as well. The difference between New York and South Africa is we've got this wonderful thing called load shedding, also known as blackouts, where there's no electricity.
Oh, nice.
How you been, Mike?
Oh, not bad. Just been busy right now, which has been good. Been a good year so far.
There we go. I like it. You busy doing your thing with Tanya?
Yeah, we've been out. She won a couple of Grammys, so things have gone kind of crazy since then, so it's been really good.
I was actually taking a look. I'm going to play in a little bit what is to me one of my favorite tracks by Tanya. So it's probably way before the time that you initially would have been playing with her, but I'm sure it is something that you would have. So Glenn Campbell and Tanya Tucker with Dream Lover. I think that's an absolutely stunning track of hers. So I'll be playing that in a little bit as well. Tell me very quickly, for those who don't know, insofar as not so much your music career, because we'll speak about that in a bit, but you're an avid marathon runner.
I am, yeah.
And you've got an ever so slight connection to South Africa.
This morning, so yeah.
Oh, sorry, say that again?
I said I went for a run in Central Park this morning in the rain.
Oh, there we go.
When it's raining on you and it's barely above freezing, but I went anyway. So.
And nothing wrong with that. But you've got a bit of a South African connection when it comes to marathon running.
I do, vaguely. I went for a run with Zola Bud, which was pretty exciting for me.
I think that's cool.
Weren't properly impressed, but South Africa would be. So.
I'll tell you one.
She lives in Myrtle Beach, South Carolina, and it turns out just by coincidence she lives about 2 blocks from my in-laws.
Ah, well, there we go.
They actually asked me one day. I said, "Hey, would you like to meet Zola Bud?" I said, "Well, yeah, that'd be great." So I met her, and we went for about a 10K run together, and just had to talk about, the Olympics back in the day and everything else. It was a lot of fun.
Well, there we go. That's very cool. I was actually, after we had spoken about your run-in, as it were, with Zola Bud, I was actually doing a bit of a read-up on her as well. Because I actually kind of remember when it was all in the media with her running and tripping and all of these things, and how big a thing it was with her always running barefoot and whatnot, and her saying in the media at that point in time, saying, well, it's the kind of thing we do in South Africa. You don't have to worry about shoes. All the kids just get together and go running, so why worry about shoes? I'm not so sure you guys will be doing that in Central Park running barefoot, but then again, one never knows.
Hey, you see the occasional person in Central Park running barefoot, but it's not too common, but you do see it.
Well, there we go.
It's more and more popular here in America. It's funny. Yeah.
So tell me, from a music perspective, when it comes to the stuff you've been doing with Tanya Tucker, so you both the producer and the drummer for Tanya, is that correct?
I'm the band leader.
Oh, the band leader.
So I play drums for her, and so that basically just kind of means I, sort of take control of a little bit just of personnel and keeping things organized and running rehearsals and stuff like that.
All right. And how did that come about, though?
3.5 years. It's been great, yeah.
How did that come about?
What's that?
How did that come about that you ended up being the band leader for Tanya?
It just kind of fell into my lap. I knew her manager at the time, and things in Nashville tend to happen pretty quickly. So I just literally got a call one day and just basically said, would I be interested in taking over the drummer spot for Tanya Tucker, because she was having a hard time with the people that she had going. So I said, yeah, I'd definitely be interested. And then they called me back about 2 weeks later, I think it was 3 days before rehearsal, and asked if I would be interested in taking the band leader position as well. And I said, well, yeah, I guess I could. I said, it's a little odd because I've never met her. I've never met the band. But then her manager goes, well, her band leader just left, and he was the bass player, so you're now the band leader, and rehearsals are in 2 days. You need to find a bass player. Talk to you later. I don't know. So,
there we go. Throw you under the bus, huh?
That way. Yeah.
Well, there we go. That's quite cool. But I mean, from a, I suppose, when I had Chad on last week from Nirvana, he was saying the very type of music he plays, from Nirvana itself and a very grunge rock alternative feel, all the way to Before Cars and Pondy, and very, very different. How do you feel the music genre differs from the Goo Goo Dolls versus playing with Tanya?
Oh, it's completely different. It's like night and day. It was definitely a learning curve moving to Nashville. And the level of talent in Nashville is just crazy. It's a lot more than it is in L.A. or New York, for that matter, and I think a lot more than it is in the rock world in general. So I kind of had, get my feet wet playing with some local country artists and just learning how to play shuffle and all the standard stuff. You know.
I think that's quite cool.
It was definitely, like I say, it was definitely a learning curve, and just getting comfortable with the type of music. And then the musicians in Tanya's band, I mean, they're all like A-list players. They're stupidly good, so it's keeping me on my toes. But it's been a lot of fun. Yeah.
Well, I suppose it's one of those things when it comes to musicians. A similar thing that I was saying to Chad last week as well, when it becomes one of these things that you're passionate and you're always going to be doing it. And I mean, you take a look and I was just mentioning on air just before I got you on the line, that Iris from the Goo Goo Dolls rated Billboard's #1 track from 1992 to 2012. And you were then the drummer on that. And now you take a look at yourself being the band leader of yet another award-winning artist as well. So it's one of those things. If you've got it, you've got it, I suppose, eh?
Yeah, it's pretty crazy. I mean, I was actually joking with somebody the other day. I said I've decided that I'm really good luck because I've had 2 long-term gigs in my life. I said once I joined a garage band and then they started getting played on the radio. And then I said 25 years later, I joined a country legend and she started winning Grammys.
Oh, there we go.
I must be good luck.
You should start putting that out there. You'll have so many people lining up saying, "Oh, please, can you come and play for us as well?" Eh? And nothing wrong with that.
Absolutely, they can give me a call. I'm definitely coming for hire as well. You know,
So what is the...
a lot of outside work in Nashville when I have time, which is great.
And that's the next thing I was going to ask as well now. So a lot of the guys, when they any one of the guys that I've been taking a look at and who I've been speaking as well to on the side, most of them have got this main band that they're playing with or main group. And then there's a couple of side projects they're running as well. So you've got, obviously you had the Goo Goo Dolls and now you're off with Tanya. Is there anything else that you're doing on the side, playing with, I don't know, some small indie band as well or something along those lines?
Not really. I had a side project about 10 years ago called 40 Marshas, and it was fun. We put out 2 records just, independently by ourselves, but never really did much with it. But that was about the only, as far as I've gone with side projects. I haven't really done much of that lately,
Okay.
Plus, I also have 6-year-old twins at home now, so being a father and having to take care of the twins and sort of keeps the free time down less than it was. So
most parents...
Side projects I do for fun, not a whole lot of them anymore, unfortunately. But, I still enjoy what I do and playing with people I get to play with. So that's reward enough, I think.
Most parents try very, very hard to convince their family members and friends not to bring anything to the house like drums or something like that, especially when they've got 2 young twins at home. But when their dad is a drummer from 2 very, very popular, famous bands, kind of makes it a bit difficult to keep that noise down, eh?
Yeah, a little bit, but what can you do?
That's very, very cool. Quick question, though. So when you were with the Goo Goo Dolls as well, and I'm speaking about Iris in particular because of the popularity of that, when they chose that for the soundtrack of City of Angels, how did that come about?
It actually came about, John was actually asked to write a song for the movie itself. So I guess he went to L.A. and went to a screening and just came up with the song and demoed it out in L.A. really quickly. And it all came together. It all came together super fast. He demoed it and then came back to Buffalo where we were living. And then we, had basically the rough idea of the song. We were in the studio about a week later recording it. So it all happened really fast.
That does sound fast.
But yeah, sometimes I take songs for the soundtracks. Other times write songs specifically for the movie. So that one was written specifically for that movie. And then, of course, the soundtrack and the song became a lot bigger than the movie ever was.
Well, that
that
is very true.
And that soundtrack was, we were the tiny little band on this soundtrack. I mean, U2's on it, Alanis Morissette was on it when she was at the top of her game. Peter Gabriel's on it, so we were just this tiny little band that snuck in there.
There we go.
Ended up having the big hit.
There we go. Well, I mean,
you never know what's going to happen.
I would say careers were made from there, but I mean, you guys all had your careers before then, and I think it just solidified things. And I mean, like you were saying, when it comes to, I suppose at the end of the day, you could say it yourself, your good luck charm that you were saying. So based on that, you could turn around and say it was because of me that it became bigger than the movie itself.
Yeah. Sure.
There we go. So insofar as Tanya is concerned, what are the future plans?
What's that now? Sorry.
What are the future plans insofar as Tanya is concerned? What are you guys going to still be doing? And
yeah, we're just going to be on tour right now. Like I said, the fact that she won these Grammys has given her a lot of legs. So we have just a really busy tour schedule up until June. So we're playing New York City tonight. We played Philadelphia last night, and then we hop on a plane at 6 a.m. to fly to Salt Lake City. We're opening for Brandi Carlile there tomorrow.
Oh, cool!
So Brandi Carlile produced and wrote most of Tanya's new records, so they've been doing a lot together. So that's been fun.
I was taking a listen to some of Tanya's newer stuff as well, or at least I think it's newer. Things like Little Things. I know they're very, very popular. And I must say, from a good country type music, I mean, my girlfriend is an absolutely massive country fan. So she enjoys listening to that kind of music all the time. And some time ago, when was it, about 3 or 4 months ago, I was actually doing a bit of a country spot on the show as well, playing a lot of country music. And it's one of those things, it's kind of, it gets people up and they want to start moving about when country comes on the radio.
Yeah, it's definitely, I was wondering how it does in South Africa. I can't imagine we're going to be over there anytime soon. It's so far. But I know, some of the country artists make it to Australia and play festivals there and things. But it definitely seems to be getting a little more, I guess, international respect than it used to. And, Ken Burns put out that movie on country music recently, which I think helps. And it's still a new world to me, too. I mean, I was never immersed in country, and then I, joined Tanya's band and she starts calling out standards and playing all these songs from these great artists, from Merle Haggard to George Jones and all these people I wasn't really that familiar with. And it's amazing stuff. So it's been really cool. And like I say, a great learning curve for me. I'm kind of the odd man out. And I know so little about historic country. I'm getting better, but
I think
a lot is still new to me, so it's kind of fun. Yeah.
I think one of the nice things about that, though, is you bring a totally different perspective, especially as the band leader then, because you've been in other bands like the Goo Goo Dolls, and you know the kind of thing that resonates with listeners and with the audience and the fans. So I think maybe that adds just a different nuance to it, as it were.
A little bit, perhaps, yeah. Just the fact that I've been on a tour bus for 25 straight years gives me some perspective about the traveling thing.
There we go.
Yeah.
No, absolutely fantastic. Mike, I must say thank you very, very much. It has been illuminating, to say the least. I think it's always fantastic to chat to these guys who are legendary drummers and have done such amazing things when it comes to those two sticks. It's absolutely cool. From a South African context, I can guarantee you've got a massive fan base on this side. And the fact that the guys will now know that you do a lot of the country music as well. From a South African perspective, from the Afrikaans language, as it were, they call it lang arm, or pretty much called windsurfing, I suppose. So you got a lot of that kind of music happening as well. So from a country perspective, I almost would say that you probably have more country music fans probably than you would actually have Goo Goo Doll fans in South Africa, insofar as the kind of music, because of the Afrikaans people in the country.
Right, absolutely. That's good to know. Yeah.
There we go.
Get some festivals out there so we can come and play.
That's a jolly fine idea. But Mike, I want to say thank you very much for joining us this evening, or this afternoon on your side there. Thank you very, very much. I know you do have a couple of plans as you are setting up stuff at the moment as well. So best of luck with that. Enjoy the rest of the tour. And we'll be in touch.
Awesome. Thanks so much.
There we go. Cheers, man. Thanks, Ab.
Right.
Okay, bye.
Jono Rudman on Mix 93.8.